This is the new pinion bearing support block for the Fusion 50. This pinion support can be used with either 5mm or 6mm bearings, depending on the diameter of your chosen motor's output shaft. In this case, I'm going to use a 6mm ID bearing. What we do is put a small amount of bearing retaining compound on the outer race of the bearing and then press the bearing into the pinion support bearing block. Let's do that now. Here I have a small amount of Loctite bearing retaining compound. What I'll do is apply it very sparingly to the outer race of the bearing. It doesn't need to coat the whole outer race, just in a few spots around the outer race of the bearing. It's very important not to get this into the actual race of the bearing, which can cause the bearing to run very roughly and not last very long. After we have applied the small amount of retaining compound, we next press the bearing into the bearing support block. There are several ways of doing this. You could use a vise with an appropriate size socket sitting on the outer race of the bearing, and that's what we will do. Here I have an appropriate size socket, which is a nice fit just on the outer race of the bearing. I'm now going to go away and put this in a vise to press the bearing into the bearing block. Here is the completed assembly with the bearing pressed home in the bearing block. This is now ready to be installed on the helicopter.